Y'all see it. Epic versus Apple. I just had to bring this up because they had a final ruling. Thank God. This case has been going on forever. But it's kind of misleading on this article here because you know what? Let me give some preference. I don't want to jump right into it. Let me give you guys some preference, and then right after this, we're gonna start taking calls. I'm gonna be quick on this because this I have talked about this so many times. Okay. The title says Epic wins big Fortnite lawsuit against Apple. When this lawsuit consisted of many different counts, let's say, Epic only won one. How does Epic win in this case? I don't understand that. But I will say something that Epic did win on that will be a big change, and I want you guys' input on it. So one of the things I see that Epic did win on, one of the things that they were fighting heavily on, and kind of what started all of this, is the 30% revenue that they were going to be giving to Apple for in-app purchases. That's where all of this really started. That same thing they were going for with Google, and I'm not sure if Google and them worked something out. I'm not sure, but this went to court for Epic versus Apple. Apple pulled Fortnite from the store. Okay, they pulled it from the store. They said, why are we going to allow people to download this shit if you're not going to allow us to take the revenue we typically require everyone to give? I got to give them props on that. They're absolutely right. Everybody has to deal with that. But Epic said, hell no. They make too much money off these microtransactions. They want all the revenue. Epic did win the ruling that they can now, in Fortnite, if you're playing it on iOS, they can have all of those reverted. Okay, or I don't want to say reverted. Let's say rerouted. There you go. Everything being purchased can now be rerouted directly to the Epic website for the purchase, which means they can now receive the full revenue of that. Now, the technicalities are not really worked out in detail, but I'm not sure if this means that Apple is no longer allowed to offer in-app purchases. I don't think it means that, but what I think it means is that there'll now be a little button to where you can click, hey, purchase here. So now you can actually go there and purchase it, and maybe Epic starts offering some incentives to get you to purchase directly from their website versus Apple. But they lost on all other counts, which means, guess what? I don't know. You guys tell me, is Fortnite on the Apple Store now? Because I don't think they won that. I don't think they won anything. Besides, now they can have all their revenue reverted directly to their website, which is huge. I don't want to act like it's not huge. It is huge because anybody else coming after who's going to put games on the marketplace can now have revenue rerouted directly to their website. But that might make the decision on whether Apple allows your title to be allowed on the store now. That might be. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to put up right here on screen. Now this is on the injunction, okay, from the judge. The court, having considered the evidence presented at the bench trial in this matter and consistent with its findings of fact and conclusion of law, hereby order as follows. Apple Inc. and its officers, agents, service employees, and any person in active concert or participation with them, and hereby permanently restrained and enjoined by prohibiting developers from including in their apps and their metadata buttons, external links, or other calls to action that direct customers to purchasing mechanisms in addition to in-app purchasing, and communicating with customers through points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers through account registration within the app. What does this mean? In 2022, Apple can no longer require that online purchases made in games or apps on Apple devices go through its own app store. It must allow developers to redirect users to their own marketplaces for online purchases. The injunction will take effect on December 9th unless it is appointed to a higher court, according to Verge. Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic Games, tweeted out a response to the court decision, stating, Today's ruling isn't a win for developers or for consumers. Epic is fighting for fair competition among in-app methods and app stores for a billion consumers. That's Tim Sweeney. This decision has potentially large implications for other online storefronts like Google, which Epic has also filed a lawsuit against in July of this year. Okay, so we're talking. With Epic Games now being allowed to redirect users playing on Apple devices to its own sites for online purchases thanks to this lawsuit, there could be precedent for developers to be able to do so on other storefronts as well. Kotaku reached out to Epic and Apple, but they ain't say shit. Okay, let's see some comments. There's a lot of comments on here that I've seen at the bottom. Let's read. I always like to go through the comments, try to get some people they like. You know what I mean? You didn't mention that Apple won every single other count. Yeah, they didn't mention that. I found that out too. Yeah, that headline is as misleading as the Trump tweet. Yo, they stupid for that one right there. In fairness, the only thing sites like Kotaku really cared about was the in-app purchases part. The fact that Apple won everything else is apparently unimportant, LOL. Like, how, if I'm correct, Epic has to pay Apple like 30% of its revenue it made from like October or something, LOL. It was only $3.5 million for what I saw on Reuters, and I think this is peanuts, Epic, considering how much they make on V-Bucks alone. I agree. Could there be a response from Apple and Google to simply ban any apps that have their own marketplaces? Talk to them. They pretty much have the final say on what can or can't live on their respective app stores, right? This is going to get messy, and I'm certainly glad I stocked up on my popcorn. Yo, Jagger the dog. That was nice. Now, okay. Ninja, let's talk. That's not actually how this played out. I don't think anyone other than this clickbaity headline would say that Epic won. Epic does not get their own distribution platform in iOS. Yes, they don't get their own. Epic does not get their own payment processing in iOS. What Epic and all other developers did win is a victory for common sense. They are now allowed to tell you and provide links to an external place where one can make purchases for the platform in question. That means that Epic can have a link that takes you outside of the app to their webpage, allowing people to buy whatever it is they want to buy via that webpage. All in-app purchases or purchases of apps themselves remains Apple's turf. Okay. In my opinion, this is a fair compromise. Apple not allowing developers to tell users about external payment subscription options was always scummy, and I personally go out looking for a way to do such things, knowing that the option can often exist even when they cannot advertise that option to me. Damn. From my understanding, this is true, but my reading of how everything went down, Apple just skated past the idea that they are a monopoly, but the judge did say they were being anti-competitive. If Apple and Google started banning apps that opened up their own in-app purchases and then couldn't make a good excuse for it, they would be seen as running a monopoly. That's a good way of putting it. So, nonetheless, done with that. We're talking about it. So, I think it could be on the App Store. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone, guys. Okay, I do have iDevices in my home. Have a MacBook, but I don't too much use it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty much a PC Windows type of guy. So I haven't looked on there. It could be on the store now. If it is on the store, I'm sure everybody's updating now. They're glad that the game is back. But Epic had a small victory. Didn't really help, a lot of developers and a lot of consumers. But nonetheless, one small victory could be a giant leap in this battle.